Ja, herzlich willkommen. Ich bin wieder auf Domains & Money und wir sprechen heute mit Panoro. Gleich vorab, also der Interessenskonflikt, ich habe selber Aktien von Panoro und wir haben auch in unserem Fonds Panoro Aktien. Und von daher wissen Sie natürlich, muss man natürlich besonders aufpassen, was man natürlich sagt. Bei mir ist heute Luquman, er ist CEO und President. Perfect. Ja, wir werden jetzt einmal ein Update bekommen, was bei der Company so los ist. Yeah, thank you to have you here. First question for me is what was the highlights in the last 6 months for the company? And
The last 6 months, we've been focused on our two main projects, Cotabambas and Antia. We just announced earlier in November this past month a new resource estimate for the Cotabambas project, increasing the resource from 404 million tons of inferred up to 605 million tons of inferred plus 117 million tons of indicated. So that was a culmination of our last year's worth of work. The second part, our second priority project, Antia, we've been working on updating the resource estimate, and we expect to announce fairly shortly the results of the new resource estimate. So in the last 6 months, we will have added resource to both of our key projects in the south of Peru.
Okay, but more important than the history is the future. What do you think it's coming up in the next 3 to 6 months, and what do you think is maybe the catalyst for the share price?
Right. The next 3 to 6 months will be very important for the company because we will be preparing the preliminary economic assessments for both of our projects, Cotabambas and Antia. And we expect that those economic assessments will demonstrate that we have two very attractive copper projects in what is the most important copper region of what is probably the most important copper country in the world, Peru.
Panoro is one of the single companies. They are really independent. All the big other projects are occupied by the big ones. So what is the strategy of Panoro? Do you get some interest from the big players for your projects?
Yes, well, you're quite right. We have up to date maintained our independence, but we have signed confidentiality agreements with over a dozen large mining interests, allowing them to look in detail at our project. Because we do feel at some point there will be the opportunity for a transaction or some kind of a partnership, because in our region, Xstrata, Glencore, Teck, many of the major mining companies are developing large projects in the same area. And we have only recently, November, shown our Cotabambas project to be of the same scale as those other projects.
Good, but coming back to the markets are really in a bad shape. So, what do you think about the market, and what is your expectation for the next year?
The markets are difficult. They probably will remain difficult over the next year, but those companies with the best projects, with the best project plans, will be able to finance themselves, advance their projects, and wait for the period where the markets give them proper recognition. And we expect that we will be one of those companies with the best projects in one of the best areas.
Okay, thank you for the interview, and good luck for the future, and hopefully your share price going up.
Thank you. We hope so too.